We spend trillions of dollars trying to protect our global financial system from cyber threats. But what if I told you the very tools we use to measure that risk are broken? Not just a little flawed, but fundamentally wrong? What if we're all just staring into a broken mirror, getting a dangerously false sense of security? Let's break it down. Right, this is the core of it. Think about cyber risk like a giant iceberg. The tools we have right now, they're pretty good at spotting the tip, that little 10% of threats we can see above the water. But the real danger, the catastrophic, system-ending kind of risk, is the massive 90% hidden below the surface, totally off the radar of the instruments we built to protect ourselves. This quote just nails the absurdity of the whole situation. We're trying to navigate this incredibly complex, high-speed digital world by only looking at what's already happened. I mean, can you imagine trying to drive a Formula One car by only looking in the rearview mirror? You'd see where you've been, sure, but you would have absolutely no idea about the hairpin turn right in front of you. That's pretty much what we're doing with cyber risk. So, what is this flawed mirror we keep looking into? Well, let's take a closer look at the main tool that Wall Street has loaned to the world of cybersecurity and see exactly why it's failing us so badly. It's a model called value at risk, or you'll hear it called VAR. In really simple terms, it's a tool that tells a bank something like, okay, with 99% confidence, you're not going to lose more than, say, $10 million tomorrow. It was built for traditional finance, which has, a certain set of rules and assumptions. The big problem, cyberspace doesn't play by those rules, not even close. And this right here shows you the huge mismatch. On the left, you've got the world VAR was designed for. It's predictable, it's orderly, things follow a nice bell curve, and major disasters are super rare. But on the right, well, that's the reality of cyberspace. It's chaotic, everything is connected, and extreme events aren't the exception. They're the norm. In the cyber world, those catastrophic events are way more likely to happen than our financial models are ready for. So, to put it bluntly, VAR is just the wrong tool for this job. It totally ignores those crazy tail risks, the big disasters. It can't see the domino effect, where one small failure cascades through the entire system. And maybe worst of all, it has this dangerous blind spot. It assumes if you add two risks together, the total risk is just, the sum of its parts. But in cyberspace, threats combine and multiply. It's like mixing two chemicals that are stable on their own, but when you put them together, boom. VAR sees the two stable chemicals, but is completely blind to the explosion that's coming. Now, this isn't just some theoretical problem we're talking about. The situation we're in today with cyber risk, it feels like a scary déjà vu. It's an almost perfect parallel to what was happening right before the 2008 global financial crisis. And we seem to be making some of the exact same mistakes. Remember that phrase from back then? Banks kept saying their exposure to subprime mortgages was not material, right up until the moment the entire system collapsed? Well, guess what? We are seeing the exact same thing play out today with cyber attacks. Most big companies don't have to report them, so they just don't. And that means investors, regulators, and all of us are flying blind, with no idea of the true scale of the risk that's building up right under our feet. And the scale of what's actually at stake here, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. McKinsey estimates that we're looking at somewhere between $9 and $21 trillion of economic value at risk. To give you some perspective, that's roughly the entire annual economic output of the United States. This is not a niche tech problem. This is a foundational threat to the entire global economy. The source material we're drawing from for this explainer puts it in really stark terms. Continuing to rely on this broken tool, on VAR, isn't just a small mistake. It's actively steering us straight toward a national and probably global cyber insurance disaster that could be just as bad as the financial meltdown of 2008. Okay, so if the old tools are broken, what's the solution? It's not about finding a slightly better crystal ball. It requires a massive shift in how we think. We have to move away from trying to predict the future and start learning how to anticipate surprise. So the old way, predictive analytics, is all about looking at past data to guess what's coming next. But the new way, anticipatory analytics, starts by admitting you can't perfectly predict the future. So instead of trying to guess exactly what's going to happen, you focus on anticipating the element of surprise itself. It's a huge shift from managing what you can easily measure to managing the risk of what you're probably mismeasuring. I love this quote. It just perfectly captures this new mindset. The goal isn't to get rid of surprises. That's impossible in a world this complex. The real goal is to build systems, companies, and entire economies that are resilient. Things that expect the unexpected,
and that can adapt and respond when that inevitable surprise finally hits. And this isn't just some abstract idea for people in corner offices. This change in thinking is a huge deal for all of us because we are all trying to navigate the completely uncharted waters of our digital world.
So why does this matter to you? Because this isn't just about Wall Street anymore. It's about the financial systems that hold your savings. It's about our healthcare system, where your personal data is now worth more to criminals than your credit card info. And it's about the basic things we all depend on every single day: the power grid, the supply chains, our transportation networks. All these systems are tangled together, and a major failure in one could easily and very quickly cascade into a crisis for all of them. This famous quote really gets to the core of the challenge we're facing. It's one thing to prepare for the risks you know about, the known unknowns. But the threats that can cause the most damage in cyberspace are often the unknown unknowns, those completely new attacks and cascading failures that we haven't even imagined yet. And so, this is the critical challenge we're left with. The tools we used in the past are broken. They gave us this false confidence while the real dangers were piling up, completely unseen. In this new world of deep uncertainty, the question we all have to answer is this: how do we actually prepare for the threats we can't even begin to imagine?